Become Nothing. Written and published by Spark Sprit 10. In a world that always encourages us to gather more, accomplish more, and be more, the thought of becoming nothing might appear extreme, even illogical. In this seeming contradiction, there is an important truth. Finding true fulfillment often means we need to let go instead of holding on and to empty ourselves rather than trying to fill ourselves up. Become nothing. Detach from everything. Let Everything Go is not simply another self-help book offering quick solutions or a list of steps to find happiness. It provides a basic change in the way we think about life. Imagine your mind as a cup that is already filled with beliefs, opinions, and set thoughts. When this cup is full, it can't hold any new insights or experiences. When we empty this cup and become nothing, we make room for all that the universe can give us. This emptiness is not something to be afraid of. It's a blank space full of endless opportunities. By practicing the idea of becoming nothing, you can surprisingly experience everything more deeply. Letting go of your hold on life can help it support you more gently. This journey will encourage you to think about what you really believe about happiness, success, and fulfillment. As you learn to let go, you will find a deep sense of peace that isn't based on what's happening around you. When you let go of everything, you open yourself up to endless possibilities. This book provides a way to move forward if you're feeling stressed by life's challenges, looking for more meaning, or just interested in a new perspective. It focuses on the power of letting go rather than adding more to your life. Lesson 1. Become nothing, and the universe becomes your everything. In a world that always pushes us to be more, do more, and have more, the thought of becoming nothing might seem strange or even silly. In this puzzling idea, we discover the key to understanding the universe and our role in it. Becoming nothing doesn't mean you stop existing or lose your value. It is about removing the layers of ego, expectation, and attachment that can obscure how we see things and restrict our experience of life. It's about making room inside ourselves, a space that, instead of being empty, turns into a container for all the endless possibilities of the universe. Imagine you are a cup. When this cup is full of preconceptions, judgments, and fixed ideas, there's no space for anything new. When we empty this cup and become nothing, we make room to receive everything the universe can give us. This emptiness is not just an empty space. It is a place where new ideas, experiences, and relationships can grow and thrive. Becoming nothing means being ready to release the identities we have built for ourselves. We usually see ourselves through our roles, what we've accomplished, what we own, or who we are connected to. These parts of our lives matter, but they don't define us completely. When we let go of these outside labels, we allow ourselves to feel a broader sense of who we are, one that is closely linked to everything around us. This journey of becoming nothing isn't about giving up on the world or stepping away from life. Instead, it's about being more involved in life but without the weight of ego and attachment. It's about being fully present in each moment and being open to whatever happens without trying to control or change our experience. When we practice becoming nothing, we might see a change in how we view things. The lines between self and others start to fade. We begin to see how everything is connected. The tree outside your window, the stranger on the street, and the stars in the night sky all start to feel like parts of you. This isn't just a poetic idea. It's a deep truth acknowledged by both mystics and quantum physicists. At the most basic level, we are all expressions of the same cosmic energy. Becoming nothing means accepting the unknown. We often want certainty and control, which makes us hold on to rigid ideas and expectations. Life is always uncertain and keeps changing and growing. When we let go of everything, we start to move with uncertainty instead of fighting against it. We adjust like water, fitting into any shape life gives us while staying true to who we are. This state of emptiness is not a goal to achieve but a habit to develop. We can choose, step by step, to let go of what we know and be open to what we don't yet understand. It's about regularly picking being present instead of making assumptions, being open rather than judging, and going with the flow instead of pushing back. By adopting this practice, we might notice that our experience of life becomes fuller and more lively. Colors look more vibrant, relationships feel stronger, and even everyday moments have a sense of magic and wonder. This isn't due to changes in the world, but because we have changed how we see and interact with it. Becoming nothing helps us access a source of creativity and inspiration. When we let go of strict ideas about who we are and what we can do, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and can express ourselves in genuine ways. Many talented artists, scientists, and innovators have talked about reaching a state of emptiness or flow, where their best ideas and creations come to them easily. Becoming nothing doesn't mean just watching life go by. Instead, it helps us to act with clear understanding, kindness, and a sense of togetherness. We act less out of self-interest and more for the benefit of everyone. We serve as tools for the universe to show itself. To become nothing means making room for everything. It's a surprising journey that brings about deep satisfaction. As we keep practicing this art of letting go, we might discover that the universe, with all its amazing details, becomes more than just something we look at. It becomes a part of who we are. By letting go of everything, we gain everything. Lesson 2. When expectations dissolve, reality blossoms. Expectations shape our disappointments in ways we often don't see. They influence how we see things, affect our experiences, and can sometimes distract us from appreciating the true beauty around us. We often spend a lot of time creating detailed ideas about how things should work, only to feel disappointed when reality doesn't match our plans. What if we let go of these expectations? What if we could face life with open hands and an open heart, prepared to accept whatever comes our way? Expectations can feel heavy, affecting many parts of our lives. We hold on to our ideas, thinking they keep us safe from being let down. Whether they are ordinary or deep, in reality, they often act as barriers, preventing us from seeing and appreciating the world as it really is. We hope our morning commute goes well, our workday is effective, and our relationships stay friendly. When these expectations aren't met, we feel frustrated and unhappy. What if we could release these expectations? What if we could look at each moment with curiosity and an open mind instead of having fixed ideas? We shouldn't give up on our hopes or goals. It's about letting go of our need for certain results and accepting that life is unpredictable. When we start to let go of our expectations, something amazing occurs. Reality unfolds in front of us. We notice the light on leaves during our morning walk, the warmth in a colleague's smile, and the aroma of our evening meal. These enjoyable moments have always existed, but our focus on expectations often made them hard to see. Letting go of what we already think can be challenging. We often find ourselves thinking about the future, making plans, and getting ready for what could happen. This habit can be helpful in various situations, but it can also take away from the fullness of the present moment. To find a balance, we should recognize our thoughts about the future but not get too attached to them. A good way to start this process is by practicing mindfulness. When we focus on the present moment, we can begin to see when we are stuck in our expectations. We can notice these thoughts without judging them, recognizing they are there, and then calmly releasing them. This practice can help us have a more flexible relationship with our expectations. As time goes on, a helpful method is to develop a mindset of acceptance. This doesn't mean giving up on what happens, but instead recognizing reality as it is before choosing how to react. Accepting things as they are instead of always wanting something different allows us to save a lot of mental and emotional energy. When we let go of our expectations, we might discover that our experiences become fuller and more lively. When we let go of should and must, we can see reality as it truly is, without any filters. A rainy day isn't a bad thing anymore. It's a chance to enjoy the sound of raindrops falling. A tough conversation turns into an opportunity for growth and better understanding instead of a scary conflict. Changing how we see things can greatly impact our relationships. Letting go of our expectations about how others act or what they say allows us to connect more genuinely. We can listen better, understand more, and respond kindly. When we stop comparing everything to our own expectations, we can see others for who they truly are. Letting go of expectations in our work can boost creativity and innovation. When we let go of strict ideas about how things must be done, we can discover new options and ways to do things. This doesn't mean giving up on structure or goals, but instead being flexible and open to new opportunities and solutions that may arise. When we let go of our expectations, we might notice that we feel better overall. The ongoing struggle between reality and our expectations starts to fade, giving way to a feeling of comfort and satisfaction. We grow stronger when things change and learn to value the unpredictability of life. When we let go of our expectations, we make room for wonder, gratitude, and joy to grow. We welcome all parts of human experience, accepting both the difficulties and the successes calmly. In this welcoming environment, we might discover that reality exceeds our greatest hopes, showing us a world full of beauty and opportunities that has always been there, just waiting for us to relax and notice. Lesson 3. In the absence of worry, presence flourishes. Worry is a constant part of our daily lives, affecting our thoughts and experiences. Many of us have developed a mental habit without realizing it, thinking it helps us stay safe or ready. Worry is often just a way we misuse our imagination, creating fears and anxieties about a future that hasn't happened yet. Worry tends to go in circles and keeps itself going. It builds on itself, getting stronger with every thought, forming a cycle of anxiety that can distract us from the present moment. Worrying too much about what might happen in the future takes away our chance to enjoy and focus on the present moment. It's like we're looking at a lovely sunset but are too worried about the weather tomorrow to really notice the colors in the sky. To overcome worry, we need to first see that it is not real. Many of the things we stress over never actually happen, and even when problems do occur, they usually aren't as bad as we imagined. When we grasp this, we can start to ease the grip of worry on our minds. A good way to let go of worry is to practice being mindful. When we find ourselves getting caught up in worried thoughts, we can kindly refocus our attention on the present moment. We can pay attention to our breathing, feel the sensations in our body, or just look at what's around us without making any judgments. When we focus on the present, we make it harder for worry to grow. A strong way to improve is to develop a mindset of acceptance. This doesn't mean giving up on positive results, but instead recognizing that uncertainty is a natural part of life. By realizing that we can't control everything about our future, we let go of the stress that comes from worrying about it. This acceptance helps us focus our energy on what we can change right now. Letting go of worry means building trust in ourselves, in life, and in our ability to manage whatever happens. Think about the difficulties you faced and how you got through them. You've likely handled tough situations in the past, even ones you didn't see coming. Understanding this can help you feel more confident and lessen the urge to worry about every possible result. When worry lessens, we allow room for being in the moment to grow. Presence means being completely involved in what is happening right now, without letting thoughts about the past or worries about the future get in the way. In this state, we can really live instead of just existing. Being present in everyday life takes time and effort. Begin by finding times in your day when you can focus completely. You might think of this while having your morning coffee, going for a walk, or chatting with family and friends. In these times, use all your senses. Pay attention to the smell of your coffee, the sensation of the ground under your feet, the subtle changes in your friend's voice. When you dive into these experiences, you boost your ability to be present. Mindfulness meditation is a helpful way to build awareness and stay present. Take a few minutes each day to sit quietly and notice your thoughts and feelings without getting involved in them. This practice trains your mind to focus on the present, even outside of meditation. As presence increases in your life, you might see a change in how you experience things overall. Colors can appear more vivid, food might taste better, and your conversations with others could feel deeper and more significant. When we are fully present, we can experience life as it is, without being distracted by worry or other concerns. Being present helps us tackle life's challenges more clearly and effectively. When we stop worrying about what might happen, we can look at situations more clearly and make decisions based on wisdom instead of fear. Moving from worry to being present isn't about reaching a flawless, worry-free state. It's about slowly changing where we focus our attention, moving from what we imagine will happen in the future to appreciating the richness of now. By doing this, we might notice that our worries lessen, and at the same time, our ability to experience joy, peace, and fulfillment grows. When we stop worrying, we allow life to flow naturally. We start to notice the small beauty and amazing things that are around us each day. We allow ourselves to explore new possibilities and experiences that worry might have hidden before. In this moment, we don't just exist, we really live, welcoming each experience with openness and awareness. Lesson 4. To feel nothing is to be open to feeling everything. In our journey for emotional health, we often think that the aim is to get rid of negative feelings and focus only on positive ones. This misunderstanding causes many people to hide their feelings, resulting in a fake feeling of emotional numbness. True emotional freedom is not about feeling nothing, it's about being open to feeling everything. At first, the concept of feeling emotionally numb might sound attractive. If we don't feel anything, we can't get hurt, can we? This way of living has basic problems. When we block negative emotions, we also end up blocking positive ones. Feelings, whether good or bad, are a key part of being human. They help us find our way through the challenges of life. To fully enjoy life, we need to let go of our strong feelings about certain emotions. This doesn't mean we stop feeling them. Instead, we stop holding on to them or trying to get rid of them. By releasing our desire to control how we feel, we open up the possibility for a more genuine and fulfilling emotional experience. Think about the image of a clear sky. Our natural emotional state is like the sky, wide open and able to hold all kinds of weather. Clouds can appear and disappear, showing various feelings, but the sky itself stays the same. When we separate ourselves from our emotions, we don't stop feeling them. Instead, we become like the sky, a steady awareness that can embrace all emotional experiences without being shaped by them. This method helps us feel all kinds of emotions without getting too overwhelmed or letting them take over. When we stop being afraid of feeling sad, angry, or anxious, these emotions become less powerful. We can watch them, understand them, and allow them to flow by naturally, like clouds moving in the sky. By being open to all emotions, we improve our ability to understand and connect with others. When we aren't focused on protecting ourselves from certain feelings, we can better connect with the emotions of others. This strengthens our connections and enhances our social interactions. Being open to all emotions takes time and kindness towards yourself. It's normal to have likes and dislikes and to feel uneasy about certain emotions at first. Remember that all emotions come and go, and we are more than just one feeling. We have a straightforward way to develop this openness, by practicing mindfulness meditation. When we sit with our emotions without judging them, we learn to make room for them. Emotions are like guests. They arrive and leave, but they don't determine our true selves. It can be useful to identify our emotions as they come up without adding any background or narrative to them. For instance, rather than saying, "I'm upset because my partner is always late," we can just acknowledge, "Anger is here." This straightforward act of naming allows us to distance ourselves from our feelings and view them more clearly. As we get used to all our emotions, we might notice that our reactions become more balanced and fit better with each situation. We are more balanced in our reactions because we allow ourselves to feel without trying to control or hide our emotions. Being open to all feelings helps boost creativity and encourages personal growth. When we stop avoiding our emotions, we have more energy for expressing ourselves and exploring new things. We might be more open to taking risks, exploring new things, and leaving our comfort zones. The way to emotional freedom isn't about not feeling anything. It's about experiencing all your feelings completely and openly. It's about being open and aware enough to accept all of our experiences calmly. When we are open, we find a deep sense of peace. This peace doesn't come from not feeling emotions but from accepting all emotions without pushing them away. When we learn to experience all our emotions, we surprisingly gain freedom from being controlled by them. We are like the ocean, able to hold both calm waves and strong storms in our feelings. In this openness, we discover real emotional freedom, not in shutting down but in the brave choice to experience everything. Lesson 5. Issues fade when you cease to name them. To make sense of our surroundings, we humans have created a system for labeling and organizing everything we see. Being able to name and classify things has been very important for our survival and development as a species. But when we look at our inner world and personal struggles, this same habit can sometimes mislead us, causing more issues than it fixes. Think about the last time you encountered a tough situation. It might have been an argument with someone close, a problem at work, or a challenge you faced personally. When trying to understand and fix the issue, you probably labeled it as a relationship problem, career crisis, or anxiety. While naming it can help you see things more clearly and find a way forward, it might also make the problem feel more fixed and difficult to overcome than it really is. Naming has two sides to it. It helps us talk and share our experiences with other people. On the other hand, it can keep us stuck in one way of thinking, making it hard to look past the label we've given. Naming an issue often comes with many assumptions, expectations, and feelings tied to that label, even if we don't realize it. This can make it hard for us to think clearly and find new solutions to the problem. Think about a situation where you have some tension with a coworker. When you call this a personality conflict, you may unintentionally limit yourself to seeing only that perspective and miss other possible interpretations or solutions. You may begin to view all your interactions this way, which could emphasize conflict and possibly miss chances for understanding or working together. Watching without making judgments is a strong way to counter this habit. This doesn't mean overlooking issues or acting like they aren't there. It means looking at situations with an open mind, without being limited by set categories or labels. It's about observing things for what they truly are rather than how we think they ought to be. This method is very similar to mindfulness practices and Eastern philosophies that highlight the value of being aware of the present moment. When we watch our thoughts, feelings, and experiences without rushing to label or judge them, we allow room for new ideas and viewpoints to come forward. When we stop naming our problems, we free ourselves from the narrative we've created about them. Every label tells a story. It has a start, a middle part, and an ending that we expect. When we release these stories, we allow ourselves to explore new possibilities and find different ways to tackle our challenges. Naming and categorizing aren't always harmful. They can help you get started and communicate better. View these labels as something we can adjust, seeing them as temporary support rather than something fixed. We can use them when we need to, but we should be ready to let them go when they are no longer helpful. When we practice observing without putting labels on things, we might notice that a lot of the problems we think we have start to feel less real. Problems that used to feel too big to handle may begin to look easier or even go away completely. This isn't due to changes in the outside world but rather because our perspective on it has changed. Not being attached to labels helps us think more creatively when solving problems. When we let go of fixed ideas about what a problem is or how to solve it, we can look at many more options. New solutions can come to light that we may not have thought of when we were focused on a specific way of looking at the problem. This way of not labeling can also apply to how we see other people and the world around us. When we avoid quickly labeling people, events, or experiences, we can better understand their true nature and possibilities. This can create more genuine relationships and a stronger connection to life. When we stop naming our problems, we allow room for change. We shift from a rigid focus on problems to a more flexible and open-minded approach. Our challenges don't define us. They turn into chances for growth and learning about ourselves. As you face your own life's challenges, think about trying this approach. When you face a tough situation, try not to quickly put a label on it. Just watch what's going on without making any judgments. Pay attention to how this feels different from what you usually experience. Without naming things, you might notice new ideas and solutions coming up, and problems that once felt huge may start to seem less important in your life. Lesson 6. Letting go of expectations leads to peace. As we go through life, we often feel weighed down by what others expect from us. Expectations from ourselves, our loved ones, or society can lead to ongoing internal conflict and discomfort. We compare our experiences to what we expect, and when things don't match up, we feel disappointed. True peace comes not from trying to meet or surpass expectations but from letting them go completely. Expectations can feel like unseen chains that tie us to certain results. They restrict how we see things, making it harder to recognize and enjoy all the options that life has to offer. Holding on to expectations can lead to disappointment, frustration, and anxiety. We often get so caught up in our expectations that we overlook the beauty and possibilities of what is happening right in front of us. To start letting go of expectations, we first need to notice that they exist in our lives. They usually work quietly in the background of our minds, affecting our thoughts, feelings, and actions without us being fully aware. Think about what you do every day. How often do you feel let down or annoyed? These uncomfortable moments often indicate that our expectations are not being met. After we know what our expectations are, we can start the process of slowly releasing them. This doesn't mean being inactive or indifferent about life. It's about being open and ready to receive new ideas rather than having strict rules for what success or happiness looks like. We can try to face each moment with an open mind and a willingness to accept it as it is. Letting go of expectations can be challenging. Our expectations are often rooted in who we are and how we see the world. Letting them go can feel like losing a piece of ourselves or giving up control. It's essential to realize that control is just an illusion. Life is full of surprises, and our plans, no matter how well thought out, can never completely prepare us for the twists and turns of reality. When we let go of our expectations, we might notice that our experience of life starts to change. When we stop trying to force things to fit our ideas, we can be more present and engaged with what is happening around us. We begin to see details and subtle differences that we may not have noticed earlier. We can strengthen our relationships by accepting people for who they are instead of how we want them to be. Being open and accepting is the key to finding inner peace. When we stop fighting against reality and trying to make it match our expectations, we can relax and go with the flow of life. We grow stronger and can handle difficulties and obstacles more effectively. Rather than letting unexpected events throw us off course, we can face them calmly and gracefully. Letting go of expectations doesn't mean giving up on your hopes or goals. We can still have goals and strive to achieve them. The difference comes from how we connect to certain results. When we keep our goals flexible, we stay open to the chance that life might offer us something even better than we expected. As we go along this journey of letting go of expectations, we might discover that peace is not just a place to reach but a friend that stays with us all the time. It's not something we accomplish just once but a condition we keep nurturing by practicing letting go. There will still be tough times, but they can't take away our inner peace completely. The way to find peace is by letting go. It's not about giving up to what happens around us but about letting go of our desire to control and foresee everything. It's about having faith in how life develops, understanding that every moment can bring opportunities for growth, learning, and happiness if we are willing to embrace it. As you move forward, letting go of expectations takes practice. Take your time and be kind to yourself. Whenever you feel an expectation coming up, view it as a chance to choose peace instead. Over time and with regular practice, you might notice that you naturally become more open and accepting, leading to a greater and lasting sense of peace in your life. Lesson 7. In nothingness, find the fullness of being. Many people, including philosophers and spiritual seekers, have been fascinated by the idea of nothingness throughout history and in different cultures. It might seem confusing at first. How can being empty result in being full? As we explore this idea further, we realize that it is in having nothing that we can find the true essence of being. In many Eastern philosophies, especially Buddhism and Taoism, emptiness or void is viewed not as something missing but as a powerful space full of potential. The Buddhist idea of sunyata, which is often called emptiness, means that nothing has its own existence on its own. This means that things do exist, but they are always changing and depend on each other without having a fixed, unchanging nature. When we begin to understand emptiness in our lives, we start to notice how our attachments to rigid ideas, identities, and expectations restrict our experience of reality. We often hold on to our self-image, our roles, our belongings, and our beliefs as if they fully define who we are. What if we let go of these ideas, even just for a little while? In that empty space, we may discover a deep feeling of freedom. When we let go of our usual mental and emotional burdens, we can experience life in a clearer and more vibrant way. It's similar to tidying up a messy room. All at once, there's room to breathe, to move, and to exist. We shouldn't try to get rid of our personalities or ignore our experiences. It's more about relaxing our hold on these parts of ourselves and seeing them as flexible and changeable instead of permanent and defining. By doing this, we allow ourselves to explore more options in every moment. Think about how kids see and interact with their surroundings. They still haven't formed strong beliefs about their identity or how things ought to be. This helps them to connect with life in a curious, open, and joyful way. As adults, we can regain some of that childlike wonder by embracing emptiness, not by ignoring what we know but by keeping our knowledge flexible and being open to new views and experiences. To cultivate a sense of emptiness, you might try practices like meditation. This helps you observe your thoughts and feelings without becoming attached to them. It could involve spending a few moments each day in silence, letting our thoughts calm down and our everyday worries fade away. It might mean frequently examining our assumptions and beliefs, not to get rid of them but to keep them more flexible. When we get used to emptiness, we might notice that our sense of self grows. When we don't have strict limits on our identity, we can feel a stronger bond with the world around us. We can feel connected to nature or more understanding of other people. This is the fullness that can come from emptiness. A rich, lively experience of being that isn't restricted by our usual thoughts. Remember that this journey into nothingness can be challenging and uncomfortable at times. We are used to always being active, to labeling and sorting our experiences. Letting go of this might feel confusing or scary at the beginning. It's normal to feel resistance or fear when we begin to let go of our usual sense of self. This is the time for being patient and kind. We're not aiming to push ourselves into a perfect state of emptiness. We're inviting ourselves to look at a new way of living. It's a journey, not a final goal, and it's perfectly fine to take it step by step, being gentle with ourselves along the way. As we keep practicing embracing nothingness, we might notice that our experience of life becomes fuller and more satisfying. We may find a strong sense of peace inside us that doesn't rely on what's happening around us. We might become better at adjusting and bouncing back when faced with change and difficulties. The completeness we discover in emptiness is the completeness of pure existence, being itself, free from the labels and restrictions we often place on it. It's the lively energy that is present in all of our experiences, the great possibilities that are available in every moment. When we learn to relax in this emptiness, we allow ourselves to experience the real richness of life. Lesson 8. When you let go of your identity, you can become whoever you want. As we move towards letting go of everything, we face an interesting contradiction. By freeing ourselves from a set identity, we allow ourselves to explore the endless possibilities of being anyone. This chapter looks at the freeing idea of letting go of our own limits and accepting the changing nature of life. From a young age, we learn to identify ourselves using different labels and roles. We get caught up in the stories about who we believe we are or who others want us to be. These identities can give us a feeling of safety and connection, but they can also turn into barriers that hold us back and limit what we can experience. Think about how much your current self-identity means to you. How much of your daily life is shaped by the expectations that come with being a parent, a worker, or part of a specific social group? These identities can help us find structure and meaning, but they can also limit our ability to explore all aspects of human experience. Becoming no one doesn't mean getting rid of your personality or ignoring what makes you special. It's about understanding that these qualities can change and are not fixed. When we let go of our fixed ideas about ourselves, we open up room for new opportunities to come in. This idea appears in many spiritual and philosophical traditions. Buddhism teaches the idea of anatta, which means no self. This concept helps practitioners understand that the idea of a permanent self is an illusion. Taoism highlights the importance of emptiness, comparing it to a container that is valuable because it is empty inside. These old wisdom traditions highlight a common truth: our real nature goes beyond any one identity. How can we start to live in this state of no one? It begins with being aware. Notice when you react automatically because of how you see yourself. Are you steering clear of a new experience because you think, that's not who I am? Are you putting yourself in situations that don't feel right anymore just to keep up a certain image? When you notice these patterns, try to ask yourself questions about them gently. Consider this: what if I could be a different version of myself right now? What new opportunities could arise? This isn't about dismissing who you are now, but about broadening your view of what could be possible. Another effective way is to take part in activities that push you to rethink how you see yourself. If you think of yourself as not creative, consider taking an art class. If you often see yourself as busy and productive, try taking some time for intentional rest. These experiences can help break away from rigid identities and show new sides of who you are. Meditation and mindfulness practices can be very helpful in this process. When you watch your thoughts and feelings without getting attached to them, you start to notice that even your strongest beliefs about yourself can change over time. As time goes on, this can change how you see things, and you might find that you're not limited by any specific way of viewing yourself. When you let go of a fixed identity, you might feel a sense of freedom and lightness. When you stop trying to keep up a certain image of yourself, you become more flexible, open to new experiences, and truly engaged in each moment. This openness and flexibility help create stronger connections with others. When we're not caught up in our own self-definitions, we can more easily see and appreciate the ever-changing nature of those around us. This helps create kinder and more understanding relationships, without the strict expectations that can lead to problems. By becoming no one, you allow creativity and innovation to grow. Many talented artists, scientists, and thinkers have talked about the importance of clearing their minds to let new ideas come in. When we let go of our self-imposed limits, we can find inspiration in places we didn't expect. This practice won't take away your unique self or your ability to fit in with others. You will be able to switch between different roles and identities more easily and genuinely. Your roles as a parent, professional, or friend can change and adapt. They are not strict labels that limit you, but rather flexible parts of who you are. As you move forward on this journey of becoming nothing, it's about the process, not the end point. You might feel uneasy or unsure at times as you release old ideas about yourself. Welcome these feelings as indicators of your growth and progress. Have faith in the journey of letting go, understanding that within this emptiness is the possibility for all things. When you let go of your identity, you allow yourself to become anyone you want. When you are open to new experiences, life can feel fuller, more lively, and full of excitement and new things to explore. Let go of rigid identities and discover the limitless possibilities of who you really are. Lesson 9. Freedom is the space between your thoughts and your reactions. As we move towards nothingness, we discover an important truth. Freedom comes not from what happens around us, but from the gap between our thoughts and how we respond. This area, frequently ignored and not appreciated, is the source of our personal strength and the path to real freedom. To grasp this idea, we need to look at how we think and respond. Our minds are always busy, creating a flow of thoughts, opinions, and views about the world we see. Our past experiences, beliefs, and conditioning shape our thoughts, which can lead to automatic reactions. We often react to situations quickly, following habits that might not be in our best interest. There is an important space between having a thought and how we react to it, a moment of possibility. This area, even if it's just for a moment, is where our freedom lives. During this time, we can decide how to respond instead of just going along with our usual reactions. Making this space bigger is practicing mindfulness in action. It means being aware of our thoughts and feelings as they come up without rushing to respond to them. This does not mean ignoring or rejecting our thoughts and feelings. It's about watching them from a distance, understanding that they are temporary events that come and go in our minds. When we learn to observe without reacting right away, we allow ourselves to make more thoughtful choices. A critical comment from a colleague can make us feel inadequate, leading to a desire to defend ourselves or react negatively. When we see this pattern as it happens, we can take a moment to stop and decide how to respond, maybe with curiosity or kindness. This practice of creating more space between our thoughts and reactions isn't about being calm all the time or getting rid of all emotions. It's about building the ability to handle life's challenges with more understanding and purpose. It's about letting go of our automatic responses and being open to new opportunities. A great way to achieve this freedom is by practicing meditation. By meditating regularly, we help our minds notice our thoughts and the spaces in between them. We practice staying with discomfort without quickly responding, and we watch our thoughts without becoming involved in them. This practice slowly moves from the meditation cushion into our everyday lives, helping us respond to situations with more clarity and calmness. One way to handle tough situations is to take a moment to pause before you reply. Taking a deep breath, counting to 10, or asking ourselves, "What's the best response here?" can help. These simple actions allow us to make more thoughtful choices and stop automatic reactions. As we grow this area of freedom, we might notice that our responses become calmer and more in tune with our values. We may find that we feel less angry, worry less, and can handle life's challenges with calmness and understanding. This doesn't mean being inactive or uncaring. Instead, it enables more genuine and effective action based on clear understanding rather than learned habits. As we develop this inner freedom, we often notice that our outside situations start to change too. We can make our relationships better by understanding others more and reacting less. When we think clearly, instead of acting on impulse, we can make better choices in our personal and professional lives. Creativity grows in the gap between what we think and how we respond. When we take a moment to pause and step back from our usual reactions, we allow ourselves to explore new ideas and creative solutions. This open mindset helps us notice insights and ideas that we might overlook when we react quickly. Building this inner freedom takes a lifetime. It's not about reaching a flawless state of calmness, but about constantly growing our ability to make conscious decisions. Every moment gives us a chance to practice. We can pay attention to the gap between our thoughts and our reactions, allowing us to choose how we respond more mindfully. As we move forward, we might notice that our freedom expands, our responses become gentler, and our experience of life feels fuller and more lively. We rely less on our usual habits and can connect with life more openly and clearly. In this space of freedom, we find a new way to respond to life and a new way to be, one that aligns more closely with our true nature and the limitless potential of becoming. Lesson 10. In the void of expectation, life's true gifts reveal themselves. Expectations can lead to disappointment and can block us from seeing the true beauty of life. We go through our days with a plan of how things should happen, often not noticing that this plan prevents us from seeing the beautiful picture that reality is creating right in front of us. When we hold on to our expectations, we unintentionally shut ourselves off from the many possibilities that are out there, beyond what we can imagine. Think back to the last time you faced a situation with a clear expectation in mind. It might have been a first date, a job interview, or just a meal at a new restaurant. How often did reality match your expectations? When it didn't go as planned, did you manage to see the experience for what it was, or did you focus on the difference between what you expected and what actually happened? The lack of expectation isn't something to be afraid of. It's a space full of endless possibilities. To welcome in this emptiness, we can fully accept life's gifts as they are, without any changes or additions. Letting go of our expectations allows things to be as they are, which can often be more amazing than we thought. Being open and willing to receive is important for getting through this emptiness. It starts with a choice to face each moment with a fresh perspective, unencumbered by past experiences or future expectations. This doesn't mean giving up on planning or expecting things, but instead being open to changing our ideas whenever needed. A straightforward way to develop this openness is by practicing mindfulness meditation. When we take time to sit with our thoughts and watch them without getting attached, we learn to focus on what is happening now instead of what we believe should happen. This practice can go beyond formal meditation and into our everyday lives, allowing us to approach each moment with a new perspective and a welcoming heart. When we get better at letting go of expectations, we might notice a significant change in how we see things. What is normal can become amazing. A random meeting on the street could spark a conversation that changes your life. A wrong turn might lead you to a charming little cafe you didn't expect to find. Challenges and setbacks can show us chances to grow and learn that we might not have noticed otherwise. Noticing and valuing unexpected good things takes some focus and thankfulness. It's about learning to take a moment to notice and appreciate the little things in life, no matter how small they may seem. This can be as easy as enjoying the warmth of the sun on your skin or appreciating the kindness of a stranger who holds the door for you. Letting go of expectations doesn't mean you should just sit back and do nothing in life. We can still make plans, aim for our goals, and have choices. The main difference is how we connect to results. When we keep our desires in perspective, we stay open to the chance that life might offer us something even better than what we first imagined. This idea can really change things in relationships. Letting go of our expectations about how others should act or what they should give us allows for real connection and understanding to happen. We understand people for who they really are rather than how we wish or fear them to be. This openness can help create deeper, more genuine relationships based on acceptance and appreciation instead of expectations and letdowns. In our work lives, being flexible with our ideas about career paths or success can lead to new opportunities we didn't realize were there. It helps us be more flexible, take advantage of unexpected chances, and discover satisfaction in areas we might have missed if we were too focused on a fixed idea of success. When we learn to live without expectations, we might notice that life becomes more like an adventure, filled with new discoveries. Every day is a chance to be surprised, to learn, and to grow. We grow stronger when things change and learn to value the present more. Living without expectation involves trust in how life unfolds, trust in our ability to manage whatever happens, and trust that even when things don't go as we hoped, there is still value and meaning to discover. It's about seeing that sometimes the best gifts are the ones we didn't even think to request. As you continue from this chapter, think about the expectations you may be clinging to. How would it feel to relax your hold, even just a bit? What surprises could be waiting for you in the space of not knowing? Sometimes, the real magic of life shows up in the gaps between our plans. Welcome the emptiness and see how the world reveals its endless marvels to you. Lesson 11. True freedom comes not from acquiring but from letting go. In today's world, we frequently learn that freedom means having more things. We think that having more things, like possessions, status, wealth, or relationships, makes us feel more free. This idea is firmly rooted in our shared beliefs, driven by what society expects in ongoing advertising messages. This view is not correct and usually takes us further from real freedom. True freedom, surprisingly, comes not from gaining but from releasing. It might seem surprising at first, but when you think about it more, it shows a deep truth about how people experience life and find happiness. First, we need to look at how possession creates an illusion of freedom. When we think that freedom comes from having more, we get stuck in a cycle of wanting and short-lived happiness. We get something we believe will bring us freedom, a new car, a larger house, a fancy job title, and for a short time, we feel happy. However, that feeling eventually goes away, and we start looking for the next thing that claims to give us that hard-to-find sense of freedom. This cycle keeps us stuck in always wanting more, never really happy with what we have. Additionally, the things we get usually bring their own responsibilities and challenges. A larger house requires more upkeep, a high-status job brings more stress, and having more belongings means needing extra space and attention. These acquisitions can limit our choices and restrict us instead of giving us freedom. True freedom comes from letting go and moving in the opposite direction. This doesn't mean we have to give up everything we own and live without comforts, but instead, we should let go of our strong ties to things, ideas, and results. It's about developing a way of thinking that allows us to appreciate what we have without letting it define or control us. First, we need to find the attachments in different parts of our lives. Attachments can be things we own, but they can also be less obvious, like attachments to how we see ourselves, to certain results, or to specific ways of thinking. We may feel connected to the idea of being successful, to having our plans turn out just as we imagined, or to always being correct in every discussion. After we find these attachments, the next step is to start the process of letting go. This process can sometimes be difficult or uncomfortable. Our attachments often seem like they are part of us, and letting them go can feel like losing a part of ourselves. It's essential to understand that we are not defined by our attachments. We are the understanding that lies underneath and outside of them. Letting go takes time and practice. It begins with being aware, recognizing when we are holding on to something and softly asking ourselves about that attachment. Do we actually need this thing or result to be happy? What would occur if we didn't have it? We often realize that our fears of losing something are bigger than they need to be and that we are actually much stronger and more flexible than we think. When we learn to let go, we start to feel a different kind of freedom. It's the ability to live without being influenced by what we want or what we are afraid of. It's the ability to appreciate what we have without worrying about losing it. It's the ability to enjoy each moment completely without being weighed down by past regrets or future worries. This freedom shows up in different aspects of our lives. We could feel less worried about results, more willing to try new things, and more accepting of changes. We may find a feeling of peace and happiness that isn't reliant on outside situations. Our relationships could get better when we let go of our expectations and accept people for who they are. Interestingly, when we stop trying to acquire and control everything, we often discover that life offers us more than we expected. When we stop trying to get more, we can enjoy and use what we already have better. We grow in creativity, resilience, and our connection to others and the world around us. Releasing is not just something you do once, it's something you keep doing over time. It's about navigating life with openness and kindness, prepared to accept what comes your way without holding on too tightly. It's about balancing being fully involved in life while not getting too attached to particular results. As we move forward, we find that true freedom isn't something we need to get but something we need to reveal. It's already inside us, hidden by our attachments and what we expect. When we let go, we remove the barriers that prevent us from feeling our natural freedom, showing the limitless essence of who we really are. Lesson 12. Detachment is the art of being in the world but not of it. As we move towards nothingness, we find a careful balance between being involved and letting go. This balance means being part of the world while not being completely absorbed by it, an idea found in many spiritual and philosophical teachings. It's about being fully engaged in life while keeping a calm inner peace and not being weighed down by what the world expects from us. To master this art, we need to first grasp what it means to be in the world. It means taking care of our duties, building relationships, chasing our goals, and feeling all kinds of human emotions. Being of the world means getting involved in its dramas, letting outside situations control us, and measuring our value by what we achieve or own. To find this balance, develop a witness consciousness. This means being able to observe our thoughts, feelings, and experiences without getting caught up in them. This awareness helps us participate in life fully while staying somewhat separate from what happens as a result. It's similar to watching a film. We can feel strong emotions from the story, but we understand that we are not the characters in it. Developing this awareness takes practice. Meditation is a great way to help us watch our thoughts without judging them. As we build the skill, we can apply it to our everyday lives, observing our responses to situations and people with interest instead of being quickly caught up in them. Another important part of this art is to live with intention while staying free. This may seem contradictory. How can we set goals and have dreams while also letting go? We find the answer in how we relate to these activities. When we act with intention but don't cling to the results, we can do our best while being open to any outcomes that arise. This method helps us to live in a more genuine and natural way. When we don't have to focus on specific results, we can react to each moment as it comes instead of being limited by strict plans or expectations. We can follow our interests and aim for our goals with excitement but without the pressure and worry that come from linking our self-esteem to the outcomes. Being in the world but not of it means changing how we think about our belongings and our place in society. We can enjoy the nice things in life, but we know they are not permanent and don't define who we are. This understanding helps us stop chasing after more, letting us be happy with what we have while still being open to change. This idea helps us to love fully while letting others be who they are. We can support our loved ones without trying to control them or feeling that their happiness is our duty. This allows for more genuine and satisfying relationships. Practicing detachment like this doesn't mean you have to be cold or uncaring. Instead, it helps us participate more fully in life since we aren't restricted by the fear of losing something or the desire to control everything. We can enjoy each moment as it comes, recognizing its specialness without holding on to it. This way of letting go helps us handle tough times more smoothly. When we don't get too caught up in our situations, we can handle challenges calmly. We understand that just like everything else in life, tough times are temporary, and we can get through them while staying grounded. When we learn to be in the world without being influenced by it, we may notice that our actions start to reflect our true values more closely. When we remove the distractions of what society expects and let go of our own attachments, we can better hear the gentle guidance of our inner wisdom. This helps us live more honestly and meaningfully. Detachment isn't about pulling away from life, it's about participating in it more completely and freely. It's about being fully aware and accepting of what is so we don't need to hold on to or reject any part of our experience. When we are open and accepting, we experience a profound feeling of peace and a connection with everything around us. As we move forward on our journey of becoming nothing, let's welcome this practice of letting go. Let us learn to move gracefully through life, involved but not restricted, aware in each moment yet free from its hold. By doing this, we allow ourselves to experience the deep freedom and happiness that come from being part of the world while not being defined by it. Lesson 13. When you release your grip on life, you find it holds you more gently. Life can seem like a tricky balancing act where we try to keep control over our situations, relationships, and feelings. We hold on firmly to what we want, our goals, and what we expect, thinking that this strong grip will guarantee our happiness and success. In trying so hard to gain control, we often end up feeling more stressed, more anxious, and surprisingly less in control than we were before. Letting go of control in life might feel strange or scary at first. We've been taught to think that letting go is the same as giving up and that it shows weakness or failure. What if the reverse was the case? What if letting go a little could help us live a happier and more peaceful life? Think about what it would be like to hold water in your hand. If you hold too tightly, the water will just escape from your grip. If you gently cup your hand, letting the water sit there without pushing, you can hold more for a longer time. Life is quite similar. When we attempt to control everything, trying to force results and change situations, we often discover that what we want most slips away from us. Letting go of control in life doesn't mean we stop caring or become unresponsive. It's about being open and aware, fully present and involved in life without trying to control it. It's about having faith in the natural course of life and our role in it. Letting go allows us to welcome surprises, happy accidents, and experiences we may not have thought possible. We allow life to show us its gifts instead of always trying to take them by force. This idea also includes our connections. How often do we attempt to control others, shaping them into what we believe they should become? By doing this, we create frustration and resentment, and we also lose the chance to appreciate the beauty of letting others be their true selves. When we let go of our expectations for others, we often discover that our relationships grow and improve in surprising ways. The same idea works for our goals and dreams. Having direction and purpose is important, but being too fixated on specific outcomes can prevent us from seeing other possibilities and opportunities. When we let go of our expectations for how things should happen, we can explore different ways that might bring us even more happiness. Letting go of our hold on life means we should also release our attachment to what has happened before and our worries about what is to come. A lot of our stress and pain comes from thinking about past hurts or worrying about the future. By letting go of these mental and emotional holds, we allow ourselves to truly experience the present moment where life is happening. As we work on this release, we might notice that life starts to support us more kindly in return. When we stop trying to control everything, we become stronger and better at adjusting to changes. We build a calm assurance that arises not from thinking we can control life but from understanding we can adapt to whatever comes our way. This gentle embrace of life shows up in different forms. We may feel more relaxed in our everyday lives, with less stress and anxiety. We might start to notice and appreciate the little joys and beauty in our surroundings, things we often overlooked when we were too focused on trying to control everything. When we give others the freedom to be themselves, our relationships can become more genuine and satisfying. When we let go, we often find a strength inside us that we didn't realize we had. It's the confidence that arises from understanding we can handle whatever happens without trying to control it. We build confidence in ourselves and in the journey of life. Letting go of control in life doesn't mean we are giving up or admitting defeat. Instead, we're letting go and trusting life and its natural way of unfolding. We recognize that we are part of a larger whole, something that embraces and supports us even when we let go. This release brings us real freedom, being free from the tiring urge to control everything, free from the worry about what could happen if we relax, and free to enjoy life in all its unexpected and wonderful details. In this freedom, we often find that life has been there for us all along, ready to support us and lead us to what is best for us if we just let go and allow it to happen. Lesson 14. The less you cling, the more you soar. As we go through life, we often hold on closely to people, things, thoughts, and experiences. We hold on to what we think will make us happy, safe, and satisfied. However, it is this act of holding on that often holds us back and stops us from reaching our full potential. Imagine a bird getting ready to take off into the sky. The wings need to be open and clear to catch the wind and soar into the sky. If the bird holds on to the branch it's sitting on, it will never feel the thrill of flying. When we hold on too tightly to different parts of our lives, we keep ourselves stuck, unable to move beyond where we are and discover new opportunities. This attachment shows up in various ways. Sometimes, we cling to old pain and find it hard to forgive and let go. We may hold on to old beliefs or ideas, even when they don't help us or fit with how we now see the world. We might hold on to things, thinking they show our value or bring us true happiness. We might hold on to relationships that are no longer working, afraid of what life would be like without them. Each type of attachment feels like a weight, holding us back and restricting our ability to grow and explore. Holding on uses up our energy, leaving us with not much left to move ahead. We get so caught up in keeping what we have that we overlook the many opportunities that are right in front of us. To rise, we need to let go. This doesn't mean giving up everything or living without relationships and belongings. It's about creating a feeling of ease in how we live our lives. It's about keeping things soft with an open hand instead of a tight grip. When we let go of our strong hold on life, many positive changes start to occur. First, we make room for new experiences and opportunities. When we release what isn't helpful anymore, we create space for new ideas, relationships, and experiences to come into our lives. We learn to adjust and go with the changes in life instead of always struggling against them. Next, we lessen our pain. A lot of our suffering comes from not wanting to change and from losing things. When we hold on too tightly to things, people, or ideas, we risk feeling disappointed and hurt when they eventually change or go away. When we hold things lightly, we can enjoy them while we have them and let them go gracefully when the time comes. Letting go helps us enjoy the present moment more. When we stop worrying about losing what we have or getting what we don't, we can enjoy our current experiences more fully. We start to notice the little pleasures in life, the sun warming our skin, a friend's laughter, the feeling of completing a task successfully. To start this practice of letting go, first look for parts of your life where you are holding on too tight. Journaling about this could be useful. Write down any feelings of resistance or fear you have when considering letting go. After you find these areas, try to let go of a small amount. If you have things you don't use anymore, consider giving some away to help others. If you have past hurts, consider doing a forgiveness meditation. If you feel the need to control your relationships, try to trust others and give them more freedom. This takes time. Just like a bird that learns to fly, you might need to practice letting go step by step. Sometimes you might stumble, but every effort helps you grow stronger and more confident. As you keep doing this practice, you might start to feel a sense of lightness in your life. You might become more willing to try new things, better at handling change, and more accepting of life's ups and downs. You will begin to believe in your ability to manage anything that happens, understanding that your value and happiness are not reliant on outside factors. The more you let go, the more you allow yourself to discover all the possibilities life has to offer. You make room for growth, happiness, and surprises. You go with the flow of change instead of resisting it. By doing this, you find that you can reach heights you never imagined. Relax your hold, open your wings, and get ready to soar. The sky is ready. Lesson 14. Emptiness is not a void but a canvas for infinite possibilities. As we move towards nothingness, we often come across the idea of emptiness. This idea might look a bit scary or overwhelming at first. We often see emptiness as something missing, a gap or a lack of something important. This view is a misunderstanding that holds back our ability to grow and change. Emptiness, when understood correctly, is not just an empty space but a rich area full of potential. It's similar to a blank canvas waiting for the artist to start painting or an empty stage before the show starts. In this emptiness, we discover a place for creating, innovating, and finding ourselves. Think about how empty a clear sky can be. Is it really empty? It contains air, is bright, and has the possibility of clouds, rain, or sunshine. The emptiness we create inside us isn't about denying who we are. Instead, it's about removing the distractions that hide our true selves and what we can achieve. By accepting emptiness, we allow space for fresh experiences, ideas, and ways of living. We let go of fixed ideas and the usual ways of thinking. Here, we can look into who we really are beyond the labels, roles, and identities we've gathered over the years. This emptiness helps us see each moment anew and with an open heart. It helps us face life's challenges with creativity and flexibility instead of reacting out of habit or fear. When we let go of what we expect or assume, we can fully experience life as it happens. This emptiness is the source of creativity. Throughout history, artists, writers, and innovators have understood that clearing the mind can help them tap into deeper sources of inspiration. When we quiet our busy thoughts, we make room for fresh ideas to come forward, free from the limits of our current understanding. In different meditation practices, creating a sense of emptiness is viewed as a way to achieve enlightenment or self-realization. When we let go of our preconceptions, judgments, and attachments, we open the door for deep insights and transformative experiences to happen. Understand that this emptiness isn't just a lack of anything. It's a lively and changing area full of possibilities. It's the source of everything that happens and where everything goes back to. When we connect with this emptiness, we connect with the creative energy of the universe. How can we create this open space in our lives? It starts with releasing our expectations, our desire for control, our connections to certain results. It means making room in our minds by doing things like meditation, being mindful, or just taking a moment for quiet thinking. We can make our spaces better by cleaning up our homes and work areas. This helps new energy and inspiration come in. In our relationships, we can listen without any distractions, without rushing to judge or reply right away. This helps us understand each other better and connect more deeply. When we get used to emptiness, we might notice that our fear of what we don't know starts to fade away. We understand that the void is not just something to fill quickly but a space to appreciate and explore. We learn to have faith in how life unfolds, understanding that in emptiness, everything is possible. This emptiness is like a blank canvas, and our life is the art we make on it. With every choice, every action, and every moment we notice, we contribute to this beautiful picture. The canvas is completely empty, so we have endless possibilities for creating. By accepting emptiness, we don't lessen ourselves, we grow. We embrace the wide range of life and the endless opportunities that every moment brings. We work together with the universe, moving in the area between existence and non-existence, shape and shapelessness. Let's not be afraid of the emptiness but embrace it. Let's make room in our lives for new things, surprises, and changes that can make a difference. By doing this, we connect with the universe's creative principle, allowing ourselves to be open channels for infinite expression. In this emptiness, we discover not a shortage but plenty, not a loss but endless gain. By letting go of everything, we can open ourselves up to becoming anything. Lesson 15. By stepping back, we discover a real bond with everything. In our search for connection, we often reach for relationships, experiences, and things we own. We hold on to what we know, worried that if we let go, we might end up feeling lonely and disconnected. Interestingly, by letting go, we find a deeper and more real connection to everything around us. We often think of ourselves as separate from everything around us. We view ourselves as individual beings apart from everything else around us. This view creates limits, leading to feelings of being alone and disconnected. As we practice detachment, we begin to break down these false barriers. Detachment doesn't mean being cold or uncaring about the world. It's about letting go of the need to control, own, or influence our experiences and relationships. When we let go, we allow for a broader understanding to develop. This awareness helps us look past the obvious differences that appear to separate us, showing the deeper connection that links everything together. By practicing detachment, we develop a feeling of empathy for everyone. When we let go of our personal issues and connections, we can better understand others. We start to see that under the different masks we wear, like our roles, cultural identities, and personal stories, we all have the same basic human experience. Everyone wants to be happy, is afraid of pain, and desires to feel connected to others. This empathy applies not only to other people. As we practice letting go, we might feel a strong bond with nature, the trees, the animals, and the ground we walk on. We start to see the complex network of life that supports us, understanding our role in this large, connected environment. The feeling of being one that comes from not being attached is not just an idea but something you can truly experience in life. It's a change in how we see things that can happen slowly or sometimes in quick, deep moments of understanding. Sometimes, when we walk in nature, we can feel ourselves blend in with the surroundings, as if our personal boundaries fade away. We could be walking down a busy city street and suddenly feel a connection to the humanity in everyone around us. This connection, which comes from being apart, creates a strong feeling of peace and belonging. When we start to view ourselves as connected rather than alone, the fear of being lonely that often leads us to cling to others starts to lessen. We understand that we are never really alone because, at a basic level, we are always connected to everything around us. This feeling of connection creates a natural kindness and concern for everyone. When we really grasp that we are connected to others and the environment, hurting them or the planet means hurting ourselves. Understanding this can change how we engage with the world, encouraging us to be kinder, more thoughtful, and more aware of our environment. Remember that developing this level of detachment and connection is a continuous journey, not a goal to achieve. Sometimes we feel a deep connection, but then we might slip back into old habits of feeling separate and attached. Take this journey slowly and be kind to yourself. Remember that every moment is a chance to learn how to let go and connect with the world around you. Some practical steps to achieve this state could be meditation that helps you expand your awareness beyond your body, loving-kindness exercises that build empathy for everyone, or just spending a few moments each day to observe the world around you without judging or feeling the need to act. When we practice letting go, we might notice that our connections with others grow stronger and more genuine. When we let go of the need to control or own, we can love more freely and openly. We can value each individual for who they are without attempting to change them to meet our expectations or satisfy our needs. In summary, letting go does not take us away from others but brings us closer to true connection. When we release our narrow, self-centered view, we allow ourselves to connect with the larger, interwoven reality of life. In this place of letting go, we find a deep feeling of togetherness, calm, and connection. By becoming nothing, we have actually become everything, connected to all of life. Lesson 16. Let go of the shore to discover the vastness of the ocean. We usually hold on to what we know, what feels safe, and what we are used to. The shore is like our safe space, where we feel secure and in charge. It's about our habits, routines, and the ways we usually think and act. Feeling secure is fine, but staying too close to the shore can hold us back and stop us from reaching our full potential. Leaving the shore takes bravery. It involves entering unfamiliar territory, accepting what you don't know, and being receptive to new opportunities. This process may seem scary at the beginning. We naturally look for stability and predictability. This release shows us the importance of exploring new areas, helping us understand the great possibilities of life and who we are. The ocean, in this comparison, stands for the endless options that are available beyond what we can see right now. It's a place for growth, adventure, and change. Life is like the ocean, full of unknown depths and amazing things waiting to be found. There are many chances for those who are ready to step out of their comfort zones. When we release our grip on the shore, we might first feel lost, uncertain about where to go or what we are meant to do. This is a normal part of the process. When we are unsure, we become open to new experiences and ideas. We let go of our assumptions and expectations, enabling us to view the world in a new way. As we move away from the shore, we start to find strengths we didn't realize we had. We build strength when facing unexpected challenges. We learn to move through the changing aspects of life more smoothly and confidently. This journey shows us how to adapt, an important skill in our fast-changing world. Letting go of the shore means freeing ourselves from being tied to certain results. When we concentrate too much on getting to a specific place, we might overlook the beauty and lessons that come from the journey along the way. When we embrace the ocean's vastness, we allow ourselves to explore possibilities we might not have thought of while standing on the shore. This process of letting go and discovering is not something that happens just once. It's an ongoing practice. Life will always bring new opportunities, new comfort zones that we build for ourselves. Notice when we get too attached to what we know and find the bravery to let go again. Letting go of the shore doesn't mean we have to give up everything we know or care about. It's about broadening our views while bringing along the knowledge and experiences we've collected. It's about growing from our base instead of being restricted by it. As we get used to the size of the ocean, we might notice that our fear of what we don't know lessens. What used to feel scary or too much now turns into something exciting and full of possibilities. We build confidence in ourselves and in the course of life, which helps us handle even the roughest situations calmly. This journey into the vastness helps us connect more with others and the world around us. When we face new experiences and viewpoints, we grow in empathy and understanding. We see how everything is linked together, similar to how the ocean brings together faraway beaches. Letting go of the shore is really about trusting ourselves, the universe, and the basic goodness of life. True security comes from our ability to adapt, grow, and go with the changes in life rather than holding on to what we know. As you think about your own path, consider this. What shores am I holding on to? Which comfort zones have turned into limitations? What great possibilities are there if I choose to release? The ocean of life is big and full of amazing things, but we can only find them if we let go of what we know and explore new places. By doing this, we find the great size of the world and the endless possibilities within us. Lesson 17. The tighter you hold on, the more slips through your fingers. In our search for safety, joy, and satisfaction, we frequently hold on tightly to others, our belongings, and our beliefs. We think that by holding on tightly, we can keep control of our lives and make sure that what we care about stays with us. This method often results in the opposite of what we want. The more we try to hold on, the more we see it slipping away. This contradiction is clear in many parts of our lives. Think about relationships, for example. Being too possessive or controlling with those we care about can unintentionally drive them away. Our stronghold limits their freedom and independence, leading to feelings of resentment and separation rather than the closeness we desire. When we let go a little and give room for people to be themselves and grow, we usually see our relationships become stronger and more meaningful on their own. The same idea works for the things we own. We might hold on to things because we're afraid of losing them or think they show our value. However, the more we link our happiness to outside things, the more anxious and unsatisfied we feel. Our belongings start to control us, and we forget the simple pleasures that come from living without too much stuff. Our thoughts and beliefs can also be affected by this phenomenon. When we cling too much to our opinions and beliefs, we shut ourselves off from new viewpoints and experiences. Holding tightly to our beliefs stops us from learning and improving. We can learn a lot when we let go of our assumptions and stay open to the knowledge and ideas around us. This tight grip usually comes from fear. Fear of losing something, facing change, or dealing with the unknown. We think that by managing all parts of our lives, we can shield ourselves from hurt and letdowns. This false sense of control has a significant price. It takes away the core of life, its flow, its unexpected moments, and its ability to grow and change. To address this tendency, we should develop a habit of gentle acceptance and letting things be. This doesn't mean being inactive or uncaring about life, but instead involves creating a more adaptable and open mindset towards our experiences. It means noticing when we're holding on too firmly and deciding to relax our hold. A simple way to practice this is by using mindfulness. When we watch our thoughts and reactions without judging them, we can notice when we're clinging too much. We can feel the tightness in our bodies, the repetitive thoughts in our minds, and the heaviness in our hearts when we're holding on too tightly. Being aware is the first step to letting go. A useful method is to practice letting go in small ways on a regular basis. This might mean cleaning up our space, letting go of a grudge, or just taking a deep breath and relaxing our bodies. Doing these small things helps us practice letting go, making it simpler to relax our hold in bigger parts of our lives. Think about how everything changes and doesn't last forever. Everything in life is always changing. Our bodies, our relationships, our situations. When we really understand this truth, we see that trying to hold on to anything too tightly is pointless. We can learn to value each moment as it arrives, understanding that it will also come to an end. When we practice letting go, we might notice that life starts to move more smoothly. We might see opportunities we didn't notice before. Relationships can become more genuine and satisfying. We might feel a sense of lightness and freedom when we are not burdened by too much attachment. We should still care deeply and fully commit ourselves to the people and things that are important to us. It's about balancing involvement and not getting too attached. We can love a lot, work hard, and enjoy life while being open to what comes our way and letting go of what we don't. Lesson 18. Detachment means observing without being tied down. Living well is not about clinging tightly but about moving gracefully with the changes life brings. It's about believing that when we let go, we allow ourselves to experience the richness and beauty around us. When we learn to approach life with care, we might discover that life responds in kind, supporting us with endless possibilities and surprising gifts. Detachment is often viewed negatively. Many people connect it to being cold, indifferent, or uncaring. True detachment is not the same as indifference. It's a clear and freeing state that helps us connect with life in a more genuine way. To grasp detachment, we need to first identify what it isn't. Detachment is not about creating barriers or isolating ourselves from others. It's about acknowledging our emotions and being honest about how we feel. Detachment means developing a feeling of calm and steadiness that helps us handle life's challenges and changes smoothly and fairly. When we are detached, we can see things clearly without being influenced by our fears, desires, and expectations. We can watch our thoughts and feelings without letting them take over us. This doesn't mean we don't have feelings or care. It means our feelings don't control us. We can feel joy, sadness, anger, and love, but these feelings do not define who we are. We can face life's challenges with understanding and kindness instead of just reacting based on our past experiences. Picture yourself on the edge of a wide ocean. The waves appear and disappear, sometimes calm, sometimes strong. If we're attached, we're in the water, being moved by every wave, trying to stay afloat. When we are detached, we are on the shore, watching the waves. We can enjoy their beauty and strength without feeling overwhelmed. We may decide to swim, but we do it with awareness and choice, not because we are carried away. Being detached helps us connect better with life. When we let go of our attachments, we can explore freely, take risks, and love deeply without the fear of losing anything. We can fully embrace each moment, understanding that it will eventually pass, and that's perfectly fine. We can enjoy a sunset without trying to keep it or tackle a challenge without being stuck in fear of failure. Practicing detachment means we can still care about outcomes and put in our best effort. It means we concentrate on what we can manage, our actions, our intentions, our responses, and release what we cannot control. We try our hardest and then let go of the outcomes. This method helps us be more successful, as we aren't held back by worry or the expectation of specific results. In relationships, being detached helps us to love more genuinely. When we are attached, we usually love others for what they provide or how they make us feel. We may attempt to manage them or feel upset when they don't fulfill our hopes. When we are detached, we can love others for who they truly are rather than for what they do for us. We can help them grow and be happy without trying to own them. This type of love allows both people to feel free. Learning to let go is a process, not a final goal. We focus on it every day in both small and big ways. We can begin by watching our thoughts and feelings without judging them. When we find ourselves feeling worried, angry, or wanting something, we can pause and observe these feelings like we would watch clouds moving in the sky. We can practice letting go in small ways, like not reacting to a minor annoyance or letting someone else have the last word in a disagreement. Remember that everything changes, including our thoughts and feelings. This viewpoint can help us take things less seriously. Meditation and mindfulness can help us learn to let go and be less attached. They assist us in separating our thoughts from who we are, helping us realize that we are not our thoughts but rather the awareness that notices them. As we practice letting go, we might notice that life becomes easier and more fulfilling. We are less affected by our emotions and the opinions of others. We can enjoy the present moment better, understanding that it won't last forever. We can connect more genuinely with others without trying to impress or control them. Detachment doesn't mean we care less. In fact, it helps us care more deeply and sincerely. We can see the world more clearly, without the confusion of our attachments. In this clear understanding, we discover a deep connection to all of life, a feeling of peace that isn't reliant on external circumstances, and the ability to truly be ourselves. Lesson 19. The lightest traveler goes the farthest. As we go through life, we often feel weighed down by our belongings, what others expect from us, and our connections to things and people. We hold on to these things, thinking they give us safety, a sense of self, or joy. But over time, we might realize that the things we cling to can actually prevent us from fully enjoying the richness and freedom that life can bring. Imagine a traveler beginning a long journey. A person who travels light, taking only what they need, can move easily and quickly. They can navigate tight spaces, climb steep hills, and adjust quickly to new situations. A traveler with heavy luggage, however, finds it difficult to move, using up energy to manage their load instead of enjoying the journey. This comparison applies well to our spiritual and emotional lives. The traveler who carries the least baggage, having learned to release unnecessary attachments, often journeys the farthest in personal growth and understanding. They are free from the burden of past regrets, worries about the future, and the pressure to protect their possessions and reputation. Traveling lightly means simplifying our thoughts and emotions. It means letting go of grudges, resentments, and old pain that we've carried for too long. It means releasing the desire to control every detail of our lives and the lives of others. When we let go of our mental and emotional burdens, we make room for new experiences, insights, and connections. Becoming a light traveler is an ongoing process. It's not about reaching a perfect level of detachment, but about regularly examining what we should keep and what we can release. When we learn to travel with less, we might discover that our journey leads us to places we never imagined. We find new levels of personal growth, stronger connections with others, and a deeper sense of peace and happiness. By letting go, we gain something far more valuable, the freedom to truly enjoy life in all its complexity and beauty.